Hello, Midlife Goddess here, and today we're going to talk about the ick. I thought that I made up the ick. I have been saying the icks. I did not say the ick, I said the icks. That person gave me the icks, which is a state of feeling the ick. I've said that for 20 years, and now it's just this common term, the ick. But what the ick is, if you don't know, it's when you either date someone or make out with someone or sleep with someone that you then get this really skeeved out, cringy, repulsive, kind of like, feeling afterwards. And you can't believe it happened. And you're filled with regret. You almost like hope that you never see them again because seeing them reminds you of your ick that you feel. And that's a pretty bad feeling. So if you have the ick, number one, I want to say, here's the positive thing. You did interact with someone. You gave someone a chance who was maybe outside of your normal zone, right? And so maybe you took a step forward as far as being open-minded about who you were willing to interact with. And that's a positive, right? So let's think of the positives here. Another thing that is good about it is, that you're interacting at all. So you don't get the ick without interacting. Now, if the ick happened because you were drunk or on something and you hooked up with someone that you would not have because of imbibing, then we all know that's bad. And that's never a good situation. And you have to really think about other things at that point, right? But the ick. The ick is caused really by one thing, okay? Or the icks. I'm gonna go back to calling it the way I say it, the icks. I had the icks. It's the cause of it always is one thing, and that's loneliness. You're lonely, so you lowered your standards and got yourself in a situation where you're then filled with regret. Loneliness is a killer, and loneliness is something that happens when we don't interact with enough people, right? And even someone who's an introvert like myself needs to interact with some people sometimes. It has to happen. And one easy way, if you're feeling lonely, to get over loneliness, this is kind of a side note, but it could prevent you from ever getting the ick. And it could also help you get over the ick too, because it's basically just, instead of focusing on your own feelings, just figure out someone who needs something that you can do for them anonymously. If you do something for someone and it's not anonymous, sometimes you're gonna find that they're not even grateful and they might even resent you for helping them. That's awful, but it happens, I swear to God. No good deed goes unpunished, they say. So I think that the best way to do good deeds is completely anonymously. Do that, it'll make you feel better and you'll feel less lonely. Another thing is you can just find a very public place and walk around and you'll see other people. You don't even have to really talk to other people. You can just see people and smile when you see somebody, when you walk by them. A smile is the shortest distance between two humans. And when you smile at someone and they smile back, you've communicated and you feel a lot less lonely and less likely to get yourself into an ick situation. So those are a couple of things you could do to avoid loneliness, because loneliness is 100% cause of the ick. And it could even be loneliness that causes you to put yourself in situations where you would allow the ick to happen, like, just drinking too much, just feeling in a low place and sad for yourself, and then boom, before you know it, made a bad decision, you have the ick. Now, if you want to reverse the ick, and that's what this video is really about. It's reversing, it's undoing the ick. How can we undo the ick? And it's really important to do just because, number one, it's making you feel gross. It's making you feel ashamed of yourself, embarrassed for yourself. Being embarrassed for other people is an awful feeling. Being embarrassed for yourself is an awful feeling. And there's a way to stop that. And it's really important to stop that if the person that you have the ick about, or the icks, is someone who you're going to see regularly still, someone that you maybe work with, or someone that lives in your building, or someone that is a neighbor, or someone that is, I don't know, in a group of friends that you're going to run into. If they're like that and you're going to see them, you have to get rid of the ick, not only for yourself, but for them too, right? Because they didn't do anything wrong. It's not their problem that you feel this way. You did something wrong. Now, unless they like took advantage of you when you were in a compromised situation, and let's be honest, that happens sometimes too, but that's another video. So, if you're gonna see them for whatever reason, they're a family member, just kidding, that'd be so gross. Had to say it though. If you're gonna see them, what you wanna do is you wanna get rid of the ick. You wanna reverse the ick. You wanna undo the ick. You wanna fix the ick. And I'm going to tell you how. Number one is you are going to rewind in your head and remember when you first met them. Think about that first time you ever met them, when you first became friends, when you first, encountered them, the first conversation you ever had. What did you like about them then? What did you admire about them? Think about that and really focus on that, because that like that you had at that moment is what led you to drop your guard enough to get in this situation. So focusing back on that is going to help you a lot. So if it's, their intelligence, really focus on their intelligence. Did they have a great sense of humor? Really focus on that. Are they just a good person? Really focus on that. Another thing is to undo the ick, to fix the ick, to reverse the ick, is to backtrack into a absolutely friendship sort of mode with this person and just avoid anything that would remind you of anything other than friendship. And if they remind you, just sort of gloss over it, or you could address it and you could say, I don't like thinking about that. I like thinking about you this way, if you have to say it so bluntly. But otherwise, if you don't respond favorably, most people will stop trying to remind you of, any regrets. Now, if you got the ick, the icks, the ew, the yucky, the cringe feeling about someone who you dated for a while and then you found out something about them, that can be a much worse ick than a short-term ick. A long-term ick, when say you were dating for a long time and then you find out, oh gosh, that they're into some weird dark stuff, or something gross. If this happens, or if you found out that they're a cheater, or if you found out something awful about them, whatever it is, if you found out that they are a scammer, if you found out that they did something that you absolutely do not respect, and you're grossed out that you ever even interacted with them, that's a lot harder ick to fix, but it's the same things as I was saying before. Number one, refocus by trying to anonymously help someone else that you can help in whatever way you can help them. So that'll be a good distraction. Number two, rewind to what did you like about them in the beginning and really focus on that. And then number three, the most important part in this one is gratitude that you found out, because you see all these shows about these people that think they're happily married and then they find out that this guy has been like sleeping with everyone in the whole town and whatever. They didn't even know. They thought that the perfect marriage. They have the ick like you could never imagine having the ick, right? Or, like that show, The Fall, where she finds out that her husband is actually a serial killer. That's a bad kind of ick right there. So, hard to cure, but anything in life, we can survive anything that life throws at us if we just really focus on gratitude and we focus on the gratitude of finding out, because when we have knowledge, we can then move forward, and we're not going to be in that same position anymore. We're not going to be hanging out with them. We're not going to be around them. We're going to reconfigure our life to where we're not around them, and our eyes are open in the future. And that issue, that ick, that grossness was a warning that, hey, trust but verify. Trust but verify is a pretty good principle both in business and in relationships. Not saying to be sneaky, not saying to go through someone's phone. I'm just saying if you feel like you have to go through someone's phone, there's probably something in their phone, so just you shouldn't be with them, right? But you know that already. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. I think people know pretty much everything. They just don't want to know, but they do know. Anyway, I hope this helps as far as getting rid of the ick, fixing the ick. And if you have ever had the icks, the heebie-jeebies, skeeved out, grossed out by someone who you dated or hooked up with or were in a long-term relationship with, how did you get rid of that feeling and how did you move on? I would love to hear from both males and females, because I know that sometimes there are different ways to go about the same result. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And you all are wonderful, and have a great night. Bye.